Yo, what's going on? So the Hall of Heroes has returned, and this time it has returned with 5 monsters that you can choose from. They have, I believe, done this once before. And yeah, so I'm going to give you like an in-depth review of each of these monsters and sort of help you make your decision on who you're going to want to pick. Um, so yeah, this is going to be available at the Curious Dungeon. You can only select one of the 5. Alright, so yeah. This is what it's going to look like. You're going to click on whichever one you want to choose, and then once you hit yes, it's going to be locked in. That's the only monster you're going to be able to farm, and you can't change it. You can't go back and try to pick somebody else. Alright, and this has also been the same for the past few months. Each stage you're going to get 25 summoning pieces. It costs 50 to actually summon one of these guys. There's 10 stages, so if you complete all 10 stages, you will be able to get 5 of that monster. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go into the monster collection and take a look at all these monsters and their skills and stuff like that. Alright, so Draco, the Fire Brownie Magician. I'll sort of just show the skills. I'm not really going to read all the descriptions, and I'll just tell you real quick what they're used for. So Draco's pretty much, if you don't have an immunity monster, then he's not a bad choice to pick up. Also, I think he's good food, he's good food. He's good for skilling up Orion. So he's food for Orion. And yeah, it's basically, he's not the best immunity monster in my opinion, but he also has that increased attack bar by 30% on his 3rd skill. So it's like somewhat similar to Veligul, except Veligul actually removes harmful effects and then puts that on, and it's also 3 turns. Alright. So now we have Kaz, the Water Samurai. Real quick, show you the skills. So pretty much he's a single target water nuker, nothing special. If you have Tosi or Sieg, I'll probably use him for food for those guys. And that's about it. Alright, the 3rd one is... I don't know why I was looking at the 3 stars. Okay, so 3rd is the Wind Kobold Bomber Taurus. Pretty much, he's just another bomber. But, oh, and he's also got this Wind Accuracy Leader skill by 50%. Which is pretty good, which is going to make sure that he lands his bomb, as well as his 3rd skill is really cool because it increases the target's skill cooldowns for 1 turn. So if you throw a bomb on for the 1st turn, the whole other team gets their turn, they're still able to attack, and then you throw on electric bomb if Taurus is still alive. Say they have a Perna or a Theomars, then it will reset, or it will increase their cooldown so that when the bomb actually goes off on those 2, they will just instantly die. Perna won't revive, and Theomars won't get his Indoor. Alright, now we have the Light Sylph. He's got a leader skill, which increases attack speed of all allies by 24%, but it's only for dungeons, so it really decreases the value of it. The only place you're going to really use him for in dungeons is secret dungeons. But yeah, he's got a 20% chance of landing a stun on the entire team with 4 attacks with his 3rd skill, which is really good, as well as you probably are going to want to put him on Despair because his 2nd skill is also, it attacks twice on everybody on the other team. So it's just a really good crowd control monster who's going to be really good for TOA. But if you're early on in the game, then and you want to pick this guy, make sure you farm at least one of him, and then use the other ones on either Beretta or Tyron. In my opinion, you're going to want to try to skill up Beretta first. I made the mistake and skilled up Tyron first, and I regret it because, I mean, I like Tyron. He's really good, but I feel that you don't get Beretta's full effectiveness out of him unless his Phoenix Fury and his Turbulence is on max, or is reusable in as little turns as possible. Alright, and last but not least, we have the Dark Death Knight Diaz. Alright, so he's got a leader skill, which increases the resistance of ally monsters by 30%. And then he's also got this control passive, which decreases the chances of receiving a critical hit by 50% and reduces the damage that other allies receive by 15%. And he's also got these other skills which will apply a few different debuffs. And he's amazing for raids or even defense. A monster that's sort of similar to him that's easier to obtain is Darien. The difference is Darien doesn't have a leader skill, as well as he doesn't decrease the chance of critical hits being not applied, but people dealing critical hits onto your team by 50%. And Diaz's second skill has Darien's first skill and his second skill in one skill, as well as Diaz's first skill will apply I think it's HP block, disturbing the target's HP recovery for 2 turns with a 50% chance. So yeah, really good raid monster, because if you know anything about raids, you want to make sure you apply as many debuffs as possible. And he's got that, as well as he's going to make it so you don't have to make your monsters as strong. Like, you don't have to build them with as much HP or defense if you have Diaz in there. So personally, I'm definitely going to be farming Diaz. He's actually the only one I do not have, so that's another reason I'm going to be farming him. But even if I didn't have any of these guys, I still would probably go with Diaz, just because I feel like that's so useful. And yeah, so real quick recap on everybody. So Draco, the Fire Brownie Magician. If you don't have immunity, or if you want to skill up Orion, go with him. Water Samurai, he's pretty shit. You can skill up Tosi or Sieg if you need to, if you have them. Wind Kobold Bomber, good bomber. Light Sylph, good for either AoE nuker, crowd control TOA, crowd control in arena, or use him for skill ups for Beretta or Tyron, which is actually a really good option. And the Dark Death Knight is just all around a beast and really good for raids. Alright. So I think that's pretty much it. If you don't have, or if you still don't know who you want to pick, personally I would go with either the Light Sylph or the Dark Death Knight, mainly because they're light dark monsters and you don't know if you'll ever get those guys again. You have a better chance of getting these top 3. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for checking out the video. If I helped you make your decision at all, make sure to leave a like, make sure to subscribe, keep on farming, and adios.